Alright, today's the day that we're going to build the Cannondale SuperSix EVO. So, as we did the cranks in the bottom bracket before, so take a quick look at the tools and things that we're going to use and what all we're going to be building this bike up with. We're not going to need anything real special. Got cable cutters, little 4mm torque key. I think it's set at 5 Newton meters, and then my little since we're going to cut the fork, we need a fork cutting guide there. Give us a nice straight cut on the steer tube. Chain tool, some grease, some carbon prep. Nothing too major. Actually most of it you could do with just a plain old Quarq Allen wrench there, and then got a little tape measure there to get my seat post height and everything. Parts wise, it's just the Force 22 group. Got a Thomson Masterpiece seat post, my Bontager wheels, Durace pedals, and yeah, that's kind of the basic package there. Fizik seat, 3T bar, Bontager stem. The only tool I didn't have at home to do this, I had to actually press the crown race on up at work. So yeah, just it's a little bigger. I think it's a 1 3/8" bearing on the bottom. Use a little WD-40 there, which we'll be using frequently. Actually, in this video, I'll show you some uses of that. But yeah, basically just smack that thing on there until it makes the right pitch. Okay, so first thing, I'm gonna go ahead and establish where we're gonna cut the fork there. So let's go ahead and on the bearing. Set the bearings in for now. Spacer below, and I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it with a 5mm spacer above. And typically the way I'll do it is just mark right there, just at the top of the either stem spacer, and then we'll set it up in the little cutter. So we've got it, the fork steer tube there, that's my line that I marked, so it's just right on the outside edge of the that outer plate. So stick my hacksaw in there to cut this off, and it's gonna basically cut that off just about 5mm below that line, so it gives me the perfect depth there. Just want to grease this up where the bearings set. In addition to where the bearings set in the frame there, I greased up the bearings and all the races and such there, all the parts that are gonna basically contact each other. So keeps everything quiet, keeps everything from getting rusty and contaminated and such. I actually watched my old Cannondale headset video to determine where I had my spacers and everything on the old bike. So and I went ahead and added in, that extra 5mm spacer on top there, just in case, potentially for resale value on the bike, or give me a little wiggle room if I ever decided, to change my fit a little bit. So anyway, got the putting the compression plug in, adjusting the headset there, getting that all dialed in, and kind of from here, get all the bolt all the derailleurs and the brakes and everything on there. And one thing with this, the derailleurs and everything on this bike, they were pretty well already set up. I didn't really have to do much other than bolt them on and get the height, and front derailleur wise, get the height and the angle set right, and really it was just a matter of getting the cable tension dialed in, and so didn't really go into a lot of detail on derailleur adjustments and things like that. May save that for a future video possibly. But you know, really just a matter of bolting on all the parts and getting the cable tension set correctly and everything. Yeah, it's you know, one thing I you know, on this bike, as far as, you know, kind of being an exotic dream bike, because most of my bikes that I've built, this one's really more of a I don't know, more of a, I guess you could say, working man's race bike, where it's a bike you can go out and ride and race and such, and you know, if you go out and crash it, get caught up in a crash in a crit or something, it's not going to break the bank if you know, break a rear derailleur or break your shifters, you know, whatever. So it's kind of the reasoning behind a lot of the parts, you know, just fit my budget, and you know, at the same time, it's a bike that you can go out and compete really at any level. So yeah, on the hood here, I you know, had to remove the hood on the left side, which was still good, so just use a little WD-40 to get that off. You know, getting the cables all sized up correctly, and you know, getting those dialed in, using my little poker tool to open up the holes there. So definitely want to be able to keep those cables running super smooth. You know, lube those all up with some PTFE, Shimano lubricant there as well. You know, keep everything running super smooth. You know, initially helps keep that water out and stuff. So yeah, you know, but you know, regardless, the bike, you know, it all came out really nice. I weighed it after, you know, basically pedals and everything on it. It was just under 16 pounds. So you know, with this particular wheel set, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, get some race wheels on here at some point, and it'll be you know, definitely down in the, you know, 15s, low 15s or whatever, or maybe even below that with the, you know. So you know, the chain, I'll use a little connector link, you know, basically sizing the chain up, you know, just do the typical big, add 1 inch, but I went ahead and used the Shimano pin on this one, just because I didn't have a little 11-speed connector link. So just use the Shimano pin, and probably when I take the chain off to clean it or whatever, I'll just go ahead and put it back on with the connector link. You know, either SRAM or KMC or whatever, you know, whatever we'll have around the shop there. So yeah, but it's went out, took it out for a little test run, you know, rode it on the rollers a little bit, get the shifting all dialed in. It wasn't really too far off, and yeah, you know, it's definitely rides like my old one, how I remember it. So I really, you know, I think it's gonna be a really good bike, and looking forward to putting some miles on it and stuff. Checking, you know, see how this bottom bracket does in the long run and everything. But yeah, I went in and put the hood on with the WD-40 there, so works really well to put on hoods. You know, you got about a 30-45 second window before it kind of evaporates and sticks into place there. But yeah, that's it for this one, and yeah, thanks for watching.